the idea is that we're now in this time period where anything goes, Greg. And the reason Branson is so critical is because last year I think we had 145 nations live streaming this, two or three people in some, but there are thousands of people. So here's the deal: this is a message that has to get out, and it really does. Income tax, that really isn't a big deal when you understand that everything is in your food, everything that's in your vaccinations, everything is designed to do one thing. Basically, to kill you gently, some not so gently, and to basically take your life away, but charge you along the way. So we're an indebted nation, and we're indebted, and I think it's thanatos or thanatos in Greek, the Greek word for death. So, we're in a place now where we're seeing the plans of the elite absolutely in our face, and then you get what I call the G6 throwing a temper tantrum. And look at how messed up, I want to be politically correct for this broadcast, some words just fit, but let's use messed up, that you've got. Look at what has happened to Britain, throwing people in jail for even speaking. Look at what's happened in Germany. Germany's toast, and it should really make people wonder, with all the shenanigans that went on between the Obama administration and Iran. There's no truth. Here's the point: there is no truth in the publications that are controlled by the Illuminists or globalists. There's only agenda. They call them shadow masters, okay? That's why they call them the shadow government. That's why they call them. Listen, Jesus said, give me control. Not Jesus said that. The love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, but the love of it. And the banking cartel globally and from time beginning said, hey, we control the money, we control the people, we control the food. And I want to share this. People better understand this global volcanism is a critical issue now because it's going to affect the growing systems. You're going to see food rising in prices. You're going to see, just eat this new cockroach soup already being proposed. Oh, you really don't need pure water. Drink your own urine. Oh, by the way, if you live in California, wash your clothes on one day and, take a bath the next. And, we need an appropriation for 8 million more illegal immigrants. Now, I'm all for legal immigration. I'm also for biological checks on the immigrants. I coined a term years ago. Before I met Dane, I wrote a book called Weather Wars and Unnatural Disasters. But I coined a term, too, infectons, infections, people who are, TONS, who are... what's the word I want? They're, if you will, almost vaccinated assassins. They can be vaccinated against the pathogen that they carry. So it's important that people understand that what you don't know can kill you, is killing you. And the good news is that God promised that to those who call upon his name, listen, he's real. I wouldn't be alive today if the living God were not real. And I thank everybody who prays, and prays for you, Greg. There are people that are out there that God called them to do nothing but pray for us. And God, I think it's important that people understand this. Now, look, I'm not rambling. The True Legends Conference, Transhumanism in the Hybrid Age, I don't think there will be a more concise or I would say this, a finer presentation for the hour. And I'll even tell you this. I was on Greg Hunter's show. What was it, Greg? Did we do our show in Antarctica a year ago?
Something like that,
yeah, something like that. Remember what I said? I said, you watch it. We'll all turn to Mars. What was the big announcement the other day?
Go to Mars.
NASA, it was Mars. And now I'll tell you something else. That is like giving you one little smidgen of truth, and it's so far beyond that. I've interviewed people that one of my friends, Greg Evenson, just passed away. One day before he died, he and I had our last conversation, and he was a brave man, former Green Beret, former, just an amazing guy, Space Command. But you know what our subject matter was? This is a dying man's last talk with me, was Mars. And I can't even release it right now, what we talked about. You know why, Greg? No one will believe it yet. They will very soon. So from Mars, look, they're going to start claiming they're finding more ancient civilizations. As the volcanoes and the earthquakes go off here, expect to see more cataclysms in our immediate solar system. They're already talking about finding life forms in Enceladus. They're already talking about there may be primitive life forms. What they're going to do, they're going to tie the Martian bacteria ultimately into Antarctica, and they're going to bring us to the point that the Catholic Church is already anticipating that the aliens, i.e., those aliens, not illegal aliens, created us. So it is a lie. But what is the basis of deception? Deception usually takes hold when they give you a little truth, but it's not the little truth they give you. It's the lot of lie that kills you. So this transhumanism, and again, Greg, if you were to say to me, Steve, what's on your horizon beyond transhumanism, the hybrid age, I can say to you at this point, nothing. Because when they say it's going to be by 2030, 2045, Greg, in my opinion, let's see if it holds. If it doesn't, just write me off. But if it does, you better listen to why I'm presenting this. My guesstimate, estimate, based on where we're at versus knowing where we're really at, is there will start to manifest fully by 2022. And what will manifest fully by 2022 are automatons that they'll say this person, they'll already be demon-possessed. And by the way, a demon-possessed machine is no different than any form of magic around the world where specific inanimate objects become animated. Even in Greek mythology, you've got talos, T-A-L-O-S. So the first robot was 250 B.C. How can that be? Why are all the robots? They start out as a loving robot. The first robot, basically is the one that really took the world by storm was Metropolis, Fritz Lang's movie. And so at the True Legends of Conference Transhumanism and the Hybrid Age, I'll be presenting a very unusual, my part of the talk will be on robotics prepping us for the time when machines truly become spiritual, but not in the way that Ray Kurzweil says, but they will be inhabited by sentient entities that were disembodied that now have become embodied, and that's what's going to control the robot warriors of the future. And remember, my opinion is the final command given to a robot by whoever, the devil that possesses them or the demons, will be kill all humans. Listen, you and I right now, our identities are already assimilated into an algorithmic program, a mathematical formula that knows that, hey, Greg likes blue shirts, by the way, great tie, genuine compliment, and that Steve likes sweaters and, high-top shirts, whatever these things are called. So everything we think, do, and say, every website, all that we do is being fed into if you will, a catalog and a database, and it doesn't matter if it's the blinking of our eyes, our corneas, our retinas, our pupils, our fingerprints, our gait, your gait and my gait, the way we walk, is already known to them. My thermal image, your thermal image, it's all known. So everything that they can do, and now they can digitally compose us and put, and Steve Quayle in a meeting with Loretta Lynch on the runway. No, that was Bill Clinton, wasn't it? No, I'm just saying that, that wasn't fake. So the point is, and I keep saying the point. You've got to understand that they want us, human beings, dead. That's why they're crossing the species barrier, the hybrid. They're combining human and animal DNA. I was almost going to say humanals. And we need more hymnals and less humanals, but humanimals. And they're going to start selling, and again, Greg, I'll be very tactful here, but sex bots will bring about, to either the male or female, it will bring about a total end to biological reproduction, except for the elite, okay? Hey, they've been marrying their cousins and their sisters and brothers. I'm talking about the royal bloodlines for years. That probably won't stop. But they will define who can have children and who cannot. And beyond that, that will kind of be the throwaway. Okay, we're still going to keep human. But behind that, they'll insert, they'll inject, they will broadcast, they will mutate in any way, shape, or form they can so that we break the boundaries as a human a human creation by the living God, and they'll then basically try and put something in place of them. By the way, let me make this clear. The word Antichrist doesn't mean against Christ. It means in place of Christ. Jesus said, he came and we received him not. Another will come claiming he's Jesus, and him you're going to be receiving. Well, there's going to be everybody from, guys landing in spaceships, wrong. They will land, to everything that you can see in science fiction and the history of science fiction. That stuff came from someplace. People say, it's just man's imagination. The history of the world will tell you that dreams and visions many times are always attributed to either drug use or also sleeplessness, tiredness, weariness, but an altered state in the human consciousness. So did God give us a spiritual center for our brain? Yeah, I guess too many of us are sitting on it, though. The point is that, that's my attempted humor. The idea is that if you don't speak up, stand up, and get the information. Information is key. God said his people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And I want to make this clear. This True Legends, the conference, Transhumanism in the Hybrid Age, it's not a, quote, exclusive Christian presentation. Timothy Alberino, Tom Horn, and I but we've got speakers there who don't share our persuasion, but their information is valid. So I believe we're giving a balanced presentation of all the different viewpoints that can be consolidated on transhumanism in the hybrid age. So, I'm not threatened. I think I can defend my position. I think that the books I've written, and again, Greg, you held up Xenogenesis. Xenogenesis is one of the most important books anybody can read. When I wrote Genetic Armageddon, I think I'm the guy that used that word the first 15 years. Xenogenesis. But the bottom line is that mythology and legends, what they used to claim were myths and legends, those same creatures are coming back, and they're going to come back in what I would call a hyper Hollywoodized version, not meaning on the film, but every machination, every manipulation, every combination will be used to obscure God's original creation.